Hi guys, how are you? I don't have a chat window up, so I can't see um, your guys' comments if anybody's watching right now. I am getting ready to do the water signs for the month of March, so I'm trying to get that set up really quick. Just give me one moment and I'm going to get right into Cancer's forecast for the month of March. So just bear with me, but if anybody's commenting right now, I'm not going to be able to see it only because I can't see it. So I am going to share this out to a couple of groups. Probably get thrown into jail, but that's okay. But this is the monthly predictive for the month of March for all of the water signs. So first I'm going to start with Cancer, then Scorpio, and then Pisces. I'm just sharing this out to groups. Give me one more moment. And if you guys like what you see in this, please let me know. Please leave me a comment. Please leave me a like. Please leave me a share. Again, if you're watching this, I can't see any comments. I don't have a chat box up. This is being broadcasted or multi-broadcasted. I don't even know if that's a word. It's being broadcast to a couple of different places right now. So I'm not sure, I won't be able to see your comments, okay? So this is a general reading for everyone with water signs, or if you have heavily placed water signs, right? So if you have heavily placed planets in the sign of Cancer, or if you have heavily placed planets in the sign of Scorpio or Pisces, you would want to watch this video. I am going to start with Cancer, and then later when this video is fully uploaded, I will try and include timestamps on the YouTube page. So I do have a YouTube channel. If you want to support that, you can certainly go over there and subscribe to it. It's a great and huge support. If you want to like my business page, you can certainly do that also. Private readings are also bookable, but all of those questions would be directed to me at my business page. If you also wanted to follow my Instagram, it's Engelgeist333. And let's get into the month of March and see what's happening for my Cancerians. All right, so this first card that I pull out for the Cancers is always the sort of the U card, or it tells me sort of where you guys are going to be default setting sort of during the month of March. And from that, it gives me a little bit of an insight into sort of what is happening, what not only where you're operating from, but also kind of what you could potentially be creating in the month of March. So let's look at that card right now. So you guys have, leave it to the guy with really bad eyesight to be using the small cards. I chose this deck because it's a small deck and they'll all be able to fit in this wood block together for the month reading, so just bear with me. This is the Nine of Cups though. I love this card. Nine of Cups is always about sort of rejoice, celebration, abundance, that sort of thing. Cups being the element of water and the emotions. That's always a good thing. What we have here is we have this fatted goose. Let me bring it up closer so you guys can see it. What we have here is we have this fatted goose. Do you see that? And these chicks bringing this, like, these cakes to a party. We're getting ready to celebrate. There's a big celebration. There's a lot of abundance in this picture. There's a lot of opportunity here. And that's what the Nine of Cups generally represents. People are going to enjoy each other's company. There's going to be an overflow and a wealth of sort of good feelings. So Cancers, I suspect that you guys are going to be feeling overall pretty good and abundant during the month of March. That's a good thing for you guys. I love my Cancers, but I have to say, you guys can be some moody bitches. And so I'm just going to put this out there that March will be a good month for you guys. March is going to be the month where you guys are feeling, you know, your love for the people around you, wanting to celebrate. And it's also, I have to say this, I'm starting these off with the water signs because we're actually tomorrow, I think, we go into Pisces, right? Or maybe it's today. I can't remember, but we're getting ready to go into the water, the next half of February and beginning of March is all water signs. So I started to kick off the Tarotscopes for March with the water signs on purpose. So you guys are going to be feeling that watery energy. There is a Mercury retrograde in the first, actually throughout in the first half of March. But I feel like with this Nine of Cups, it shouldn't affect you guys too badly. If it does affect you, it's going to be kind of more annoying than anything. It's not going to be major setbacks by any means, okay? Now, the next card is what I call the foundation card. This card is below your default. And the reason why it's the foundation is it sort of represents the past, or what was sort of going on previous that sort of set up the foundation for why things are the way they are, you know, in the month of March. So let's look at this. We have the, I'm sorry, I cannot see these cards. The Knight of Swords. Beautiful card. Okay, so the minute I flip this over, my intuition or what I hear is, okay, how many of you sort of, not throw out the baby with the bathwater, but how many of you, I get that, the phrase in my head of died on the sword, you know, like, to me, this card feels like there might have been a moment where we were trying to be noble, do the right thing, be honorable, maybe protect others. The swords being the element of air and our thoughts. But when I'm looking at this card, it feels to me I'm getting the distinct impression that you guys might have sort of went to the defense of someone else, or like got involved in a situation where maybe it got a little bit messy. You might have had to, like, I feel when I'm looking at this knight, he is straight charging in with his sword drawn, ready for a fight. Okay. I feel like some of you might have actually lost that fight or needed to walk away. That's the part where I'm hearing died on the sword, right? We're in a better place now in the month of March with this Nine of Cups energy. But it's like sort of this strength and this learning from this experience of this Knight of Swords that has taught us and opened the door for us to now be grateful and thankful for what it is that's coming or what we're experiencing in the month of March in this Nine of Cups. Does that make sense? So if there's been, this feels like it was a battle of wits in a way, or maybe, you know, we've had to struggle mentally in the recent past to sort of get us to where we're feeling better emotionally now in this present moment. If we're not quite there yet, don't worry, it's coming is what I want to say to you. That's what that Nine of Cups represents. We need to keep a focus on that Nine of Cups, on that idea of, you know, emotional abundance, feeling fulfilled, loving our friends, focusing on the places and things that make us feel good. This struggle here, whether we won it or not in the past, we gave it our best. That's the Knight. The Knight is not necessarily a bad card. It's about nobility, it's about defense, it's about coming to one's rescue, maybe our own rescue mentally. But I definitely get this sense with this card that quite possibly we struggled a little bit during this period, and we maybe didn't see it through in the way that we would have liked, or maybe we didn't meet our own standards. Maybe we're being a little self-critical is kind of what we might be carrying over from this experience from the past, but we're letting that go with this Nine of Cups, okay? The next card is your Spirit or Soul card, and this is what's sort of above you. It tells me a little bit about where your spirit or your soul is at and what it's working on. Interesting. So this is the Six of Swords. I'm going to just place it here before I put it up here because you can't really see the art on it, and I'm going to bring the camera in closer. So the Six of Swords to me feels like there's a little bit of confusion going on. Those swords are all flying in different directions, and she's up by the river of her emotions. And it's funny that we have this Nine of Cups happening here, which is an emotional card, and then we have this Knight of Swords happening in the foundation. Do you understand? So to me, this feels like maybe this being the river of our emotions, and then the swords being sort of the multiple thoughts and the different ways that they can swing because we're a Cancerian water sign. We're very much caught up between our thoughts and our emotions, and our spirit knows this. And our spirit wants us to find that balance within those thoughts and emotions. And that's kind of what I think we actually are finding in the month of March, especially signified in this Nine of Cups card with this foundation of this Knight. Now we maybe, like I said, we maybe didn't win every mental battle that we fought in the past, but we've come out sort of understanding ourselves better mentally, feeling more self-assured, feeling more strong maybe in a way, and in doing so, this is the lesson that's coming from the soul. I sort of feel like there's this idea that we're kind of bringing in this Six of Swords energy where we're trying to balance. Our soul wants us to balance our emotional self and our mental self, and that is what is sort of taking place in these other two cards. I hope that's making sense to you guys. If it's not, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and when I finish I will go back and read them and answer. But for the majority of you, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here, is that it's been all about this balance of the mind and the heart for my Cancers. And it feels like the heart is winning this month of March. And as that wins, plus this Knight to me is a very noble foundation. It's a very strong foundation, right? So we're coming from a good place. We maybe have struggled. We've maybe had to war. Or like had to, argue within our own minds about certain things or how things should be. But it feels like it's starting to finally even out, and our soul really wants that for us, reflected in the Six of Swords. Now these next two cards that go on either side, these are what I call the outside influences. These cards generally represent sort of people, places, events, sometimes things more, sorry about all the tapping, those are my dogs walking on the floor because it's getting close to 4 o'clock, so they want to get fed. These also can be things more vague, like energies or sometimes belief systems that are either helping us or hindering us throughout the month of March. So let's look at what those are. Interesting. So the first one is the Three of Pentacles. And the second one is the Queen of Chalices. Okay, so Chalices is basically cups. This is the Nine of Chalices. I've been calling it the Nine of Cups, but so this is the Queen of Cups. I'm going to say this. The Queen of Cups would generally represent, if it's an actual outside influence person, it would represent a woman of a water sign or heavily placed water planets, i.e. Cancers, Scorpios, or Pisces, right? We want to keep an eye out for her because she could be an outside influence. For some reason, I'm hearing the word mother in a weird way for my Cancers. This could be a lady boss. This could be somebody that's in authority to a degree. I feel like we're being a little bit ignored by her, though. It's funny because I'm looking at this way that she's got her back turned. I feel like she's paying attention to everything that we do, but she sort of is not giving maybe her input, but we're sensing it telepathically or feeling it. Does that make sense? It's this interesting feeling where I'm looking at this card and I feel like she's having an influence even though she's not saying much. That's where I get this idea of mother or maybe boss. Because it's like we know sort of subliminally or psychically how to please and meet the needs of those people even when they don't necessarily request them of us. I do feel like the Queen of Cups is a loving card. She's somebody that, can be very loving and endearing, but I feel like she's giving us a cold shoulder in the month of March, or maybe giving us our space. That might be part of the reason why we're reaping the benefits of this Nine of Cups. Or maybe she's sort of happy with the results, but I kind of get this sense, and the Queen of Cups to me is not necessarily a negative card. I get a feeling that this is adversarial for some of you. I feel like this is somebody that is like either not giving us the attention we deserve, not giving us the validation that we need, and that's why I get this feeling of like sort of mother, boss, older female authority figure, that sort of a thing, where we're like, hey, look what we've done, look at how much we've achieved, and we've even got this sort of Knight energy as our foundation, look at how hard we've worked. And she's like, yeah, that's okay, but you still could do this. It's kind of a feeling I get from her. So I'm not sure how she's going to show up, but that could show up in the month of March for you. Pay her no mind. Don't let her... she loves you, I feel like, or I feel like she does care and all of that, but I feel like her distance is actually doing you a favor. Okay, so let's just leave it at that. Now, with the Three of Pentacles, Pentacles is the element of Earth, which deals with sort of money, material wealth, sort of anything on the Earth plane, right? This three to me is sort of about the idea of maybe focusing some of this abundance energy, focusing some of this like cleaner thought, the balancing of this stuff, and sort of there's a little bit of opportunity coming to you guys in the month of March that you could actually utilize. And the reason why I say that is when I look at the design of this card, these two people here are talking, and I feel like this could be the beginning of business partnerships or ideas that start to come to fruition in the month of March. If you find yourselves talking about, you know, I don't know, just silly little ideas with friends, and this is going to be now, like I'm being pulled or told that like this Nine of Cups, it's this energy about enjoying those that we love, being around our loved ones and those people. As we tap into that energy, as we tap into that and we connect with that, we might find ourselves in conversations that, although they might seem light and trivial, they could actually open doors to opportunities that could bring about even more abundance, right? Inadvertently, in a way, right? Not like, to me, this card doesn't feel as though we're actively like, oh, I'm gonna manifest the shit out of this and make it happen. This feels more like a, oh my God, wouldn't it be cool if we did this and this happened, and your friend's like, whoa, that is a great idea, we should do that, let's try it. And then you guys try it, and it actually does sort of work. Now, it's not gonna be something, because it's the Three of Pentacles, it's not gonna be this huge, big, money-making thing, but I think that it's going to be something that, because it's created from this space of this wonderful celebratory energy that we have in this Nine of Cups, and because we have such a strong intellectual thing working in both of the Six of Swords and in this Knight of Swords, that we have the prowess to actually bring about something really positive that I think could grow. This three gives me the idea that, yes, it will be like sort of financially viable, but it's not going to be a big boom right out of the gate. It might be something that you might tinker with, build, and grow. And it could be a business partnership or a connection. I get this feeling that it's going to be a connection through something unexpected and also friendly in vibe, right? Like it may be at a party or at a chance meeting where, I don't know, it's just this idea comes across where you guys are thinking about it and saying, wouldn't it be cool if this, and then somebody's like, hey, that's a great idea. So be open to that. There might be some transformative stuff happening, or the beginnings of transformative stuff in the pentacle area of your life, meaning the material wealth area, but you have to be paying attention for this one. This one's not going to be completely obvious, is what I'm hearing. It's going to be something that might be subtle, but if you carry that idea through, or the vibes, the good vibes and the feelings of that idea, you could very well actually grow that into something that could be very viable. Now, this last card is what I call the potential outcomes card, and I always caveat this with the idea that you know, we have free will, right? So nothing is ever set in stone. This is not a predetermined card like, oh shit, my life is going to fall apart kind of outcome. This is the future card. This is how March will end out for you guys as a general overview for many people, right? This may be for you, it may not. But what I do say about this being the potential outcomes is that we have free will and choice. We can make choices and changes in these cards with our decisions, right? To change the effects of these cards. So if we see this as a negative card or something we don't want to have happen, we can make choices and changes in our lives to affect the outcome, right? So this is not set in stone, but if it's a great card, something that we do want to have come to pass, we can take heart in the fact that this is an energy that's naturally heading towards us, and sort of allow that to take place and sort of look forward to it and just allow it to be present in our life in the month of March. So this is your outcome card. Interesting. It's the Six of Wands. Now, do you see that, guys? Hold on, let me hold that better to the camera. Do you see that, guys? Do you see how they're both on horses traveling? I feel like, and maybe I'm being crazy, but I feel like these two here are these two here. I feel like for some of you, there is, and you know, or maybe there's a lot of you, there is some sort of creative partnership or idea. This could also not necessarily be a business idea. This could be a relationship. Even though this is not the cups, sort of, I would indicate like romantic relationships or friendships being more in the realm of cups. But to me, this could also be hitting it off with a stranger or somebody that you meet and maybe you start a business or you start a friendship, whatever it is. I feel like this is the significance of that. 6 is the element of fire, or 6 is the element of fire, sorry. Wands is the element of fire. 6 is the number. The 6 of Wands, to me, this is a spiritual connection of some sort, right? And when I look at these two people on these horses, it looks like they're getting ready to ride off into the future of April, kind of with their ideas in hand from whatever was created here. And I feel like this is a very beneficial card. I feel like they're protected by these wands that are above their heads. They're almost like, to me, they're giving me this vibe of, you know, the energy that we emit from the crown chakra of knowing. Like, I wouldn't be so surprised if some of my Cancerians meet somebody that's going to turn out to be a very significant component in their life going into the future. I don't necessarily know that that's a romantic partnership, guys. It could be. This feels like it's linked spiritually, but it could also be a very deep and profound friendship or business partnership. It's going to be something that I really think is transformative and going to have a beautiful sort of outcome as you guys travel forward, right? As you move forward into the next months to come or years to come. So pay attention. It's going to creep in subtly, I feel like. That's the key, is just sort of like staying in this vibe of abundance, of this 9 of Cups, this enjoyment of life, this celebrating the people you love. And when you emanate out that energy, you put out that vibration, you're going to attract in other people that are going to sense that and be attracted to it. Those people are going to open doors for you so that you have like new connections and new relationships that are deeper and more spiritual in nature, that may bring about changes in your life. This card also, now as I'm talking about this card also feels like some of you could be moving. These horses feel like this could be the idea of moving forward and moving on. And when I say moving, that could mean an actual physical move of residence. It could mean a move of job, right? A change in your workspace. But this 6 of and usually 5s are associated with change, but I'm feeling that these horses moving away with these 2 people on it feels like there's my Cancerians are moving on to something different, something that's a little bit more in tune to them. And the reason why they're doing that is because they've been operating from this good vibe feeling. And if I've got Cancer viewers right now that are saying, fuck that, I don't feel that way, I don't feel really good, it's been a shitty month, it's going to be another shitty month, I'm telling you guys, get into this vibe of this 9 of Cups as best you can, because it will bring about some changes. They might appear small at first, but they are going to grow in significance spiritually. I promise you that. And that's what I see for your month of March, Cancer. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like a Cancer or watch a Cancer, please watch this and maybe you might have some insight for them, or share this video with somebody that could use it. If you're interested in, further readings, please check out my YouTube channel. There's all sorts of different picker cards and things there that you can look at. It's Engelgeist, Engelgeist, and you can follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. All right, I'm gonna now get into Scorpio, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this made sense, and also private readings can give, further clarity to some of these things. If you feel as though you need it, please feel free to message me on my business page. All right. So Scorpio, my lovely Scorpios. Let me see here. Bring in your energy. So this is for Scorpio for the month of March. Sun, moon, or rising. This is also for heavily placed Scorpio planets. What is going on for the month of March for Scorpio? Scorpios are sexy motherfuckers. Let's just say that. Y'all are about sex, death, and regeneration. There is no playing with Scorpios. I mean, they play, but it's like, don't cross them. So let's see, what does the cards have to say for my Scorpios? All right, starting off with the default setting card. This is how you guys are going to be most of the month, not the entire month. It just gives me insight into not only where you're at, but also what you could be creating for the future. So let's see what your card is. Your card is the Five of Wands. I love this card. I love that we have all of these little cherubs here and they're like harnessing these ladders. Wands being the element of spirit, right? Five being the element of change. When I look at these little guys, they are like sort of working really hard to sort of build this spiritual ladder to climb to the next level. Okay, this makes sense to me, guys, in the sense that think about it. We have a retrograde going on in the first, like in the end of February and the first half of March. So there is going to be some work involved and maybe some struggle. But this struggle is all worth it for my beautiful Scorpios, right? You guys are building something that you want very dearly, is what it feels like to me. This being a Wands card says to me there's definitely a spiritual connection here. The spiritual connection could be around, you know, a job that you're impassioned about, or a relationship that you're impassioned about, something that you feel very deeply about. The other aspect to this card is just about sort of creating that change or facilitating that change so that we can have that sense of spiritual fulfillment that we're seeking. And this is very important to Scorpio, I feel like, this month. You guys are working hard. I also feel like this, to me, these three little guys down here are like the mind, body, and spirit, but they're looking like that to me. So like we're really trying to line it up and bring about that change so that we can grow and climb this ladder to the next phase of what we want in our lives, right? This is our focus for the month. This is where we're centered. I love that we're centered in a spiritual space and trying to sort of work towards attaining higher goals. That's really beautiful to me. I'm not going to say that this is going to be an easy month per se, because I do feel like these little cherubs are working their little butts off, but I do feel like they're doing it with sort of enthusiasm and for a purpose, right? It's something that we deeply want. I almost get this feeling as I'm looking at it, it's like sometimes I think maybe my Scorpios aren't even willing to admit that they want it fully. And we're finally like starting to build that ladder and move towards that, step by step, okay? So this feels like a really good card to have for the month of March. Also, you're in a water signs energy. You're in the energy of Pisces in the first half of March. So that's a great spiritual, watery, home-based energy to be in while you do create this spiritual sort of change and connection amongst your mind, body, and spirit. And, this doubles. This mind, body, and spirit, but this is also our guides working with us, okay? So keep that in mind. Talk to your guides during the month of, in the early part of March. You can do it in the latter part of March too. That's completely fine, but I think that the energy is going to be most powerful for you, especially with the spiritual stuff and you being a Scorpio, in the beginning part of March during Pisces season. Okay. The next card is what I call the foundation card. This card is from the past. It tells me a bit about sort of why things are the way they are and what sort of opened the door for everything to be the way that it is in the month of March for you guys. It gives us a little idea of what everything is built upon. Sometimes the memory of this card can be what holds everything in place. Interesting. What's going on here? So we have more wands. There's a lot of spiritual fire. It's funny to me. I always talk about Scorpio and I say Scorpio to me is the one sign that will work. It's the one water sign that works its hardest to try and prove itself to be a fire sign. That's my perception, the vibration of Scorpio. It's like they're dynamic and they're sort of fiery in nature. They can sometimes be explosive. I mean, all of the water signs can be explosive, right? We usually go crazy if we get upset, but they sort of come off like fire signs to me in their energy. So this Seven of Wands being your foundation says to me that it does feel fiery in nature, okay? And it does feel like we've been working towards this sort of spiritual sort of goal or change that we see in this Five of Wands for a while now. For some reason with this Seven of Wands, I'm feeling like as I'm looking at these two gentlemen, there's an argument or a dispute that's happening. There's some sort of, and it's interesting because Cancer had the Knight of Wands and I was feeling that there was some sort of a dispute there too. I don't know what you guys are coming in off of from 2019 or from the last 2 months of this year, but it feels similar in energy. As I'm looking at this card, I feel like there was sort of an impasse that has been created here between these two gentlemen, and that's why we're creating this new path or this new connection. Wands does not necessarily represent breakups to me at all, but this Seven of Wands feels to me like there is a definite a foundation of a departure happening here of some sort, where we had to I just see this line being drawn between these two. Like, I feel like there's a boundary that's been placed. Like, that's your side, this is my side, and we're done. So I don't know if any of my Scorpios have been through breakups or had to make very serious decisions, but this would be a very permanent, serious decision where a line needs to be drawn in the sand, and we need to stick to that line. And the reason why I say that is because this is wands, this is that fiery nature, and this is that spiritual connection. So it's like there's no like wavering on this, right? I feel like we had to sort of draw that line, make that decision, and then now we're working towards the change in our lives so that we can have that whatever it was that we sort of had to draw the line for. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If I'm not being clear, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm seeing and hearing and feeling, is that I look at these two cards. I'm just going to drop this right here and see, you guys can, you know, take it or leave it. But I look at these two cards and I feel like there has been a spiritual shift or change for my Scorpios that's been going on for a little while. That's what these two cards are telling me. It feels like there's been maybe an unhappiness or a disconnection that you guys have been working on. And in this Seven of Wands, you finally started to reconnect. You finally started to say, no, I can't do this anymore. And if that's leaving a job, leaving a partner, leaving a home, leaving a wherever you are, whatever you've done, if you've had to sort of put your foot down recently in the last few months and really say no. That's what I feel like is going on between these two men. That's not necessarily what a Seven of Wands card represents. I know that, but that's what I'm feeling from this card and what I'm sort of sensing and hearing. So wherever that applies in your life, you've done that, right? And you've set that up as your foundation. So now this foundation is this drive of this spiritual energy of the nature of wands that is sort of propelling you forward into this 5 in the month of March, that is creating a little bit of hard work and maybe a little bit of stress, but you're going to have to align not only your spirit guides, but your mind, your body, and your spirit to start to build your way towards whatever this new outlook is, this new opportunity. And I've got to say this, it's more in line with you spiritually. You desire it. Even if you're not willing to admit that to yourself just yet, you do desire it. So this is actually a good thing. It's just, it's requiring sort of some work from you in the month of March. So be prepared. I think that this is a good, these are good cards because it feels like you're finding like your connection to what you want more deeply and going about actually creating that for yourself. Right? All right, so let's look at the soul card. The soul card is up above. This tells me what your solar spirit is doing during the month of March, what it's focused on. So this is the Knight of Pentacles. So it's funny that they had the Knight down here, my Cancers, and you guys have the Knight in the opposite position up here. It's also the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is all about material wealth and gain, that sort of thing, because it's a Pentacles card, right, which is the energy of Earth. But to me, I feel like the energy of Earth being in this position, the place where I go is that this is about grounding a little bit. There's a lot of fire energy happening in these two cards. There's a lot of strong desire, and Scorpios feel shit, whether they want to admit it or not. Y'all feel like motherfuckers, excuse my language, but you try and keep it cool and under control, and you don't want to be messy like the Pisces or the Cancers, which I love my Pisces and Cancers, don't get me wrong, but y'all, you know, we can get a little bit, what is it, how is it, PDA? We're a little bit PDE, public displays of emotions, right? Where Scorpios, I feel like, are a little bit more quiet about their emotions, but then their vindictive asses will come and get you. If you're not watching, you got to be like, oh shit, they didn't forget about that. So to me, this Knight of Pentacles up in your spirit space says to me, it feels like, A, your spirit wants you to ground a little bit, get a little bit more like, whoa, tame some of that fire, boo, like, relax. We can create this, and that's the Knight of Pentacles too. The Knight of Pentacles moves slowly, right? He slows down. He goes about creating things, sometimes in a plodding, sort of slow manner. Like, to me, the Knight of Pentacles would be like a Taurus or Capricorn energy, right? That's sort of not even a Virgo energy, because the Virgo energy is a little bit like on the nervous side. Taurus and Capricorn is far more steady, right? And so when we're looking at this earth energy, I'm saying that what I feel like our spirit wants us to do is our spirit wants us to create this. Our spirit knows that we want this. Our spirit wants us to calm the fuck down and like get to this place of uh, grounded awareness that we've got this on lock. Okay, because that's the Knight of Pentacles. He moves slow, he moves methodically, he doesn't do anything where there's room for mistakes. There's not any room for mistakes really, but the fieriness of these wands energies driving you through the month of March and as your foundation just speak to me that if we're too impulsive or too dynamic or moving things too quickly, we might miss a step, or we might get frustrated and give up the ghost altogether, whatever that is, or we might go back on whatever line we drew back here in the past, forget, how bad it actually was or how much it didn't suit us, and start doing that behavior again or seeing that person again, whatever that may be for you. This Knight of Pentacles up in our spirit space is like, oh no, bitch, we're going to be more practical than that. We're going to actually really think this through. We're going to slow ourselves down. We're going to really ground it into the earth, and we're going to go about creating it in a sort of honorable and noble way, because this is important to you. This is Wands energy, so this is spiritually connecting you to something better and more suited for you. So to balance that, I feel like your spirit's coming in with this very, how do I want to say? I don't want to say, not heavy in a bad way, but this very heavy sort of earth energy to smooth you out a little bit, so that you do get this ladder built correctly and you do attain your next goal. Because the Knight of Pentacles is all about the creation of sort of wealth and abundance on a material level. This Knight of Pentacles in our spirit space is going to teach us and show us how to ground this spiritual desire that we want here. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, the next two cards on either side of you are my outside influences. These cards tell me a bit about sort of where things are going or what's influencing us in the month of March. These can be events, people, sometimes situations, or things more vague like energies or belief systems that are having an effect on us, either positively or negatively. We just need to be made aware of them. So let's look and see what we've got. Interesting. The Ten of Wands is on one side of us. Again, that Wands energy. Oh, shit. And the Three, and that's okay. The Three of Swords. Okay, I'm going to say this. When I flip both of these, I've got to say this. This is the memory of this for some of you. I know that immediately. Three of Swords is always this idea of being hurt, of being a little bit... heartbroken, having our heart ripped out of our chest, that sort of a thing. And when I say that these are outside influences, this could be an event, this could be a breakup, and I want to show you something that's going on in these cards right now. I love that we have this Three of Swords, right? So there may be the pain of whatever this was for some of us. Some of us may have had to step away from relationships or things like that to remove ourselves because it was hurting us too much or whatever. This is the outside influence of that, the memory of that is sort of influencing us in the month of March. It could influence us to go back to this, or it could influence us to stay away from this, right? But what I want to point out is, and I'm going to take this down for one moment, what I want to point out is look at where this angel in this card, he's pointing towards this ladder. He's pointing towards this change that we have these three cherubs working on. Our mind, our body, our spirit, or these are our spirit guides, but he's guiding us. The pain of this memory, or the sadness of this situation that is outside of us, that we have no control over, or that harmed us or hurt us, it's pushing us towards this ladder. So keep that in mind as we continue to build and work through the month of March. Whatever boundaries we had to draw in the Seven of Wands, whatever we had to walk away from for our own sort of personal well-being or mental health, if we're still feeling the emotional pain around that, or sadness, or the loss of that, let your guide, or let that pain be your guide towards something that's better, is what these cards are saying to me very physically as I'm watching them, move, the energy of these cards move. He is pointing me to this ladder and saying to me, Scorpios, it may hurt right now. This may not be the best. It may not feel like the best time from the outside world. You may not feel like you're getting the best sort of experience from the outside world, or maybe there's resistance, invalidation, whatever it is. Keep working on this. Now, this Ten of Wands over here, this is this explosive fucking crazy. We've got this Wands as the foundation. We've got the Wands as our center for the month of March. this Ten of Wands to me is this burning up energy of there's going to be opportunities for forward movement. Spirit or the universe will be there to try and kind of take us to this next step, to this area of completion. Tens always represent completion. I think that this to me is positive, but I think that it has that opportunity for my Scorpios, excuse me, to get overwhelmed or possibly burn out along the route. We have this castle in the far future, right? To me, that's the goal, and we're getting there. We can see it. It's happening. So that might come up in the month of March, towards the latter end of March. We don't want to burn ourselves out. Hence why our spirit has got this Knight of Pentacles happening up here. He's trying to keep us tamed down. He's trying to keep us balanced, right? Because there is going to be a lot of room for change. There is going to be a lot of spiritual energy at work to get us moving along. We've got these 3 cherubs working hard here in this 5 area. So there's going to be a lot of signs from spirit for my Scorpios. There's going to be a lot of guidance, a lot of quick moving energy, a lot of, fire energy is like, it can burn quickly, and it can, it can carry out us really quickly in a very fast way. So we want to remember to like sort of breathe is kind of how I want to say it, and ground. My cats are out there tearing up the kitchen. I can hear it. I'm going to have to kill them after this last reading. So be aware of that. There's a lot of opportunity for swift change and for swift movement. Stay as grounded as you can during it, and keep your eyes on the prize of the sort of spiritual like connection and change that you seek. Don't allow the pain to be your main focus, right? Honor that pain or that sadness or the discomfort, but don't let it drive you. Okay, don't let it become you, right? Because this is an outside influence. This is a situation, a person, a feeling that came from an experience. It's not you. It doesn't have to define who you are. Now, this last card is what I call the potential outcomes card. This card tells me what's sort of going to happen by the end of the month of March. This is your future card. It's not set in stone, guys. It's just a potential outcome for the majority of you. So it lets me know sort of where the energy's heading. We do have free will. We have free choice, right? So we can affect the outcome of this card if we choose to. If this card is beneficial, we can take heart in the fact that this card is naturally coming to us, and we can just sort of relax and allow it to come. But if this card is something that's negative, we have full power and ability to set our intention and our attention to change the outcome of this card. I just have to say that. I caveat that always so that people don't, think that they're stuck in what's coming. Wow, you guys, it's more Wands energy. So this is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is always like an abundance to me. I love that she stands here proudly. There's definitely this spiritual jump up and upgrade happening for you guys in the month of March. I love that she's standing here proudly. Her wands are all, her wands are all in a row. Do you see that, guys? And she even has that little, who's that little guy right there with his little choo-choo hanging with the feather in the way of the choo-choo and the flower hat looking like Anne Getty's painting. Our little spirit guide is right behind us. Do you see that? Look at how adorned she is. Look at how she has her staff of that flower. Look at how beautiful she knows that she is by month's end. And do you see that little spirit guide right behind her? Like going, damn bitch, we built that ladder. We got you to this place. You look good, Scorpio. You did the damn thing. You did the work, girl. You walked that walk. You worked that runway. So stupid. But that's what I'm feeling when I look at this card. That's what I'm hearing from this little guy right here. I feel like he's so proud of my Scorpios because you guys, you did the work, guys. You made the hard decisions. Oh, okay. You made the hard decisions in the previous months. You maybe suffered the pain, and you didn't let it stop you. You still chased the change. Oh, I'm getting really emotional as I'm reading this. Oh. You didn't give up on the change. You kept building the ladder in the month of March. And if you stayed grounded and you really believed in it and you did it and you let like spirit take you and you trusted spirit will take you to the place that you need to go. And you're going to feel better, you're going to feel abundant, you're going to feel like things are more in order than they were in the past. Now, will you be complete by the end of March? There's opportunities for completion. This 10 says that, but to me, this feels a lot more complete than you have been feeling. And it feels like you'll be feeling like empowered, beautiful, spiritually connected, supported, not only by yourself, but also by your guides and by your own spirit. You're going to feel more connected and closer to what it is you're seeking than you have been in the recent past, and maybe even in the beginnings of March. I would love to know what you guys are working on, because this applies to many different things, and I know that there's many different Scorpios that are watching this right now. So this could be, if you're unhappy in your job and you need a more spiritually fulfilling position in your career space, this could be that for you. This could be a romantic relationship for some of you. I don't know. But whatever it is, it feels like if you work on it and you believe in the change and you work hard and you don't allow the pain to stop you, you're going to get there. Stay grounded and know that you can manifest it. Know that you're a strong, hard worker. And allow your spirit and your guides to take you there. And they're going to be right there with you. Like, this card is just really making me emotional. Like, it's beautiful. So that is my Scorpio reading for you guys for the month of March. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it makes sense. If it does, please feel free to leave me a comment or a question on my video. Ideally, this has been posted to groups, so ideally it'd be best if you left a comment or question at my business page or at the YouTube page. Those are where I'll probably see them the most. I won't necessarily see every comment in every group that this video was posted in. But please feel free to give this video a like. If you know a Scorpio that needs to see this, please share it with them. Please share this out on your own pages or your own social media. If you can share it to Twitter, or I'm not on Twitter, but if you can share it to Twitter or Instagram, I greatly appreciate it. I can't figure out how to broadcast live on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's a huge help. All of that stuff is ways of supporting me in the channel. I hope you enjoyed this Tarotscope for the month of March. And Scorpios, grow, 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 and connect to whatever it is that your heart desires. This is a spiritual desire reading that's happening here. This is a spiritual fulfillment reading that's happening here. This is a beautiful opportunity for you guys. I wish you all the best in March, and I want to see you guys standing so proudly with, the support of your guides right behind you, all adorned and beautiful, and feeling like you did the damn thing. All right, I love you guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Wow. Okay. So, now, let's get into my Pisces, my beautiful, wonderful Pisces, which, if you don't know me, if you're new to me and you're watching me right now, I am a Pisces. I have 3 planets in Pisces. I have, my rising is, I'm a Pisces sun sign, and then my Mercury is in Pisces, so I communicate like a motherfucking Pisces, and my Venus is in Pisces. So I love like a Pisces. So I am an extremely emotional communicator. I am an extremely sappy, romantic guy. I'm learning to own this as I get older. There's nothing wrong with Pisces and their emotions. I'm just going to say that. I love Pisces. I love all my water signs. I love all the signs for different particular reasons, but Pisces is home to me in a lot of ways. And so if I cry during this reading, don't worry, that's just me being a Pisces. So, hi guys, welcome to your March forecast. You guys, this is your season. We're going into your season. I'm leading with the water signs, just for this very reason. It's our energy, it's our time. So hopefully this will give us insight into what's going to happen to all my Pisces. Those with Pisces sun, moon, or rising, or heavily placed Pisces planets for the month of March 2020. What is going on? Let's see what's going on here. If you guys want to support the channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do these videos live. Follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. Like my business page. Those are all different ways that you can support me and keep this going. And let's see what Pisces has in store for them. We are one of, like, I gotta just say this, we are one of the most, like, wonderfully fucked up signs, I think. You know, we're extremely psychic, we're extremely emotional, we're like tuning forks. I am, at least. But I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. You know, so often misunderstood, often like seen as, you know, maybe overly emotional. We don't react the same way that others do, but I also think that we are a mirror for a lot of the other signs. We are the 12th sign of the zodiac, right? The belief is if the soul incarnates throughout the zodiac, by the time you reach Pisces, you've sort of experienced all of the other signs in a different lifetime. So it's the completion of a cycle, and it's also the awareness of all of the other cycles on some deep sort of subconscious and spiritual level, can create for a highly complicated sort of, you know, individual. And I mean complicated in a good way. All right, so let's see what's going on for my Pisces. Okay, of course, indecisive cut. Let's. Why would I expect anything less? All right, so this is your U card, your center for the month of March, guys. And this is a broad spectrum reading for all the Pisces that might be tuning in. And this is also for Pisces rising, moon, sun sign. So this is a lot of different people. If you're interested in a more specific tailor-made reading to you, you can message me at my business page or at Instagram. Those can be done. I can answer any questions you may have about that, but this is a broad spectrum reading, so take what you like and leave the rest. But here we go. Here's March for Pisces. This is the default card. This is sort of the default setting card. This lets me know a little bit about where we're at for the month of March and what we're sort of potentially creating, right? It tells us sort of not only where we're vibrating at, but what we could be potentially creating for the future. So we are looking at, the High Priestess. I believe actually she might be associated with the energy of Pisces. Is she not? Let me just double check that shit. Because I think she is. Or is it it's Moon card, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. High Priestess. Let me just look this up. Sorry, guys. Who is she associated with? Oh, she's associated with Virgo. But Virgo is our complementary sign, right? Virgo is the 6th sign, and we are the 12th. And I think we're the moon. The moon sign is our association. We fall with the moon, which is highly intuitive, all of that stuff. But to me, High Priestess, although she's the energy of Virgo, she is sort of similar to the moon, where she's highly intuitive, she's highly secretive, she's highly sort of, knowledgeable. To me, when I look at this, the first thing that really sticks out in my head is I feel like she's spinning in the card. I feel like we're enjoying ourselves. I feel like it is Pisces season. I feel like we are in a retrograde, but it's like, leave it to Pisces to fucking enjoy a retrograde, right? Like, I mean, not that we don't get our worlds rocked, don't get me wrong, but to me, I feel like there is this enjoyment that's happening here. And I get this sense that there's something going on underneath the surface, because this is the High Priestess that we're not fully aware of. All right? There's a transformation that's taking place within us, Pisces, and I'm just saying this because I'm hearing it. There's a transformation that's taking place within us during the month of March that is deep, profound, and beneficial. Let's just say that. Oh, look at this bitch. There's a little moon at her feet. You see that? So the moon is present, which is the card that is associated with Pisces. The reason why I think this is beneficial and why I know that this is beneficial is I'm looking at these two pillars here. One is black and one is white. We have the dark, we have the light, but we have the strength and the support of these pillars. Something is going on for my Pisces in the month of March where we are expanding ourselves, we're expanding our spiritual knowledge, we're expanding our connection to our intuition, we are feeling our oats, we are feeling empowered, we are feeling intuitive. We're not necessarily feeling outwardly, say, sociable or necessarily sharing all of this with everybody. That's the sort of secrecy of the High Priestess. But to me, this is about, I feel like it's a level up. And I feel like we don't even realize it's a level up. We're just sort of feeling our Pisces season like, ooh girl, it's my birthday. Like, that's how I feel like she's saying. She's like spinning around with all of her flowers going, ooh, it's my birthday, yeah, it's Pisces season. But there's something transforming us. The High Priestess is major arcana. She's no joke, right? So if we're in this energy of this major arcana card in the month of March, we need to like not pay attention to it, but we need to really relish it and enjoy it and embrace it. Like embrace our intuitions, embrace our emotions, embrace all the things that sort of make us intrinsically Pisces, because those are the things that we are building with this month. And those are the things that will be gifts for us later down the road. We will be manifesting opportunities from being true to who we are that we don't fully understand, but they are bringing in like this support and this strength and this, you know, this balance of the darkness and the light. I'm feeling like we need to, how do I want to say this? I can totally feel it in my body. We need to embrace who we are, how we are, no matter what. Even our deepest, darkest secrets. That's also the priestess here. I'm not saying we need to put ourselves on blast and show everybody everything, but we can enjoy our quirkiness, we can enjoy our nervousness, we can enjoy our psychicness, we can enjoy our foolishness, you know, our daydreaminess, our wish-washiness. We can own all of it, and it can all be a thing of beauty for us in the month of March. That's what I feel like this priestess is about. She's the high priestess. She's honored. She's revered, even though she might be a little bit weird, right? People come to her for advice, insight. She's a mirror. I was just saying that as I was shuffling the cards. You know, we don't feel the way other people do, but we oftentimes mirror things back to people. That's why we get the strange reactions we do from people. Sometimes they react adversely to us in our emotional states because we're mirroring back to them sometimes how they should feel, but they can't or are incapable of it, right? We scare them, right? So this to me is about not giving a shit about who we scare and just owning ourselves as we are, secrets and all, and embracing that and enjoying that during our beautiful Pisces season amidst a Pisces fucking retrograde. Because I believe that Mercury is in Pisces right now. So we're like in Pisces season with Mercury in Pisces and Mercury's in retrograde. But that's like just quirky and off-centered enough for it to be perfect for us to really relish in who we are. And then we've got this complementary aspect of Virgo, which is represented or associated with the High Priestess. So to me, it feels like that's also very complementary and beneficial, and we don't realize it. Okay, so just pay attention to that. I'm going to go to the next card and we'll see what else unfolds here. The next card is what I call the foundation. I use the analogy of the foundation of, you know, building a house. You lay the foundation first. This card represents the past, and it sort of tells me a little bit about sort of what was happened in the past and sort of laid the foundation for the cards to be the way they are in this month of March. It's also the memory of this card that sort of everything is built upon. So this card not only is what opened the door, but it's what everything's built upon and holds everything in place. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so we have the King of Swords. Look at this fat bastard. I love him. So, what is he telling me? I feel like there has been a moment where we have shored up ourselves mentally in the recent past, where we have come to terms with some stuff mentally, where we have stood our ground, where we have declared our value, where we have come to understand who we are. And I think that the strength of that, the male aspect and the masculine strength that I feel in this King of Swords, where he's holding his swords, represents the element of air and the intellect, right? So this is the realm of the mind. Kings are the authority of that, right? They are the sort of, they're beyond tens or anything like that. They're the completion. They're the highest card of the court in that suit or in that element. So to me, this is about us having dealt with our mind over the last few months or maybe the last year and really sort of starting to work with it, understand it, own it, embrace it. And because of that, I'm going to have him step aside. In the month of March now, we get to sort of swirl around and be like, yes, we feel good. We own who we are, both darkness and light. We understand our strength. We understand our beauty. We understand our intuition. We're feeling good. We are loving ourselves. And it's okay if we're quirky or we feel, you know, slightly misunderstood. That's okay. We've done our own work in this King of Swords mentally in the past leading up to this, to where we feel empowered. He's giving us this foundation to sort of own this High Priestess energy, to own this major arcana like growth that's about to happen for us, this sort of spillover into this understanding of other aspects and appreciation, I have to say, of other aspects of ourselves that we've maybe kept hidden for a while, that we've maybe sort of like denied or pretended didn't exist because we feared that they would be misunderstood. It's this, he to me is saying, no, we're not going to allow that lie to go on any further. We've worked on that lie for the last few months. We've you know, determined that's no longer going to work, and now she gets to come out and dance in the month of March. Now, this next card is our spirit or soul card. This is telling me where our spirit or soul is at during the month of March and what it's going to be up to. Jesus. This is my favorite card of the deck. This is the card that I associate myself with. I don't actually think I'm gonna cry. I don't think I've seen this card in this deck yet. I don't go through every deck. I sort of open them and I unbox them on my YouTube channel, and then I kind of work with them. And I've been working with this deck off and on through different cycles and readings. And so I haven't seen the star card for this deck yet. And I love that it's this beautiful angel. I just want to look at her for a minute and show her to you guys. So this is the stars. And she is beautiful. And she's in our spirit space. And I love it because I feel like she is walking gently through, our soul is walking us gently through this experience. She's also major arcana. So she has a big impact. There's a big opportunity here coming from our soul that is bringing it down into our present sort of conscious mind space of this high priestess energy. This star card to me is we are connecting to parts of ourselves that maybe we haven't been able to in the past, or maybe we've denied in the past. And we're honoring them. The light of the star card, this angel here, right? This guardian angel, this guide, or our own sort of soul self is coming down and connecting to us in the month of March to help us to embrace who we are and to understand that. And we have the strength of this beautiful, strong King of Swords, right? The strength of our mind to allow for this sort of impactful spiritual like awakening or experience to happen. Again, we have this moon behind her wings, like the moon that's at the feet of this high priestess. Do you guys see this? So we have the moon represented here and then up here above us. Do you see that? Like equality, like the moon here slivered and then the moon is full here. I just need to point that out because that's what my intuition is showing me. So there's, and the moon being, you know, Pisces card, again, it's harkening back to that. But the star card to me, I'm going to just get into the definition of the star and why I love this card, is the star card to me is all about sort of that compassion, that love, that brightness of shining your light within the universe and being just as valid and as equal to everything other star in the universe. And I think that maybe, I think that maybe this month of March we get to experience that. I think that with this High Priestess card, maybe we get to realize that for ourselves. Ooh, this retrograde is kicking my ass. And I think that our spirit wants us to see that. I think our spirit wants us to see our beauty in its truest and brightest form, and in its softest and most, and that's sort of the secrecy of this High Priestess. This, we're not trying to prove this to anybody else. This isn't about trying to impress anybody else or show off to anybody else. This is purely about a connection to ourselves that's happening, that I feel like is absolutely beautiful, absolutely personal, intimate, and spiritual. And if we allow it in, we're in for some changes, some opportunities that we don't even understand. That's these pillars that I see in this High Priestess card. If we allow it in, and we allow like our soul to sort of shine the grace of this star card down upon us, and allow us ourselves to look at ourselves for who we truly are, and own that, we are going to experience a growth or an expansion that's going to be profound and beautiful for ourselves. So, fuck, I'm looking forward to this. I don't know if you are, but I certainly am. I could use this shit. So this is my favorite card, and it's always associated with compassion and that quiet nature, that quiet spiritual nature of like the stars, it's like how we're all interconnected to one another, and how all of the stars in the night sky create the light. I mean, the moon does too, but it's sort of like we're all interconnected, and we all produce a different light, and all of that light is, equal in a way. And so I love that this star card is in our soul space. It just says that there's something very profound coming from our soul, it being a major arcana card. The next two cards are what I call the outside influences. These are people, events. Oh God, my nose is running. I'm a mess. People or events, sometimes energies or belief systems that are having an effect on us, either positively or negatively, in the month of March. So these are just things that we need to be made aware of as we go through the month of March. So one is the Eight of Pentacles. Eights are always kind of, to me, they're about sort of balance. It's like when you turn an 8 on its side, it's like that infinity symbol. It feels like balance to me. I also love that the balance of these pentacles. There's 4 and 4, so they feel sort of stable and balanced to me. This feels like a nice balanced, sort of grounded material energy that's coming in at us. I feel like this, it's funny. I'm just going to show you what I see because I'm seeing it. It feels like she's spinning around, like celebrating, like going, oh, it's my birthday, yay, I'm a Pisces and I love myself and I'm feeling my oats. And this is maybe a good friend, a good girlfriend that's bringing us a gift. Like, happy birthday, this is what you deserve. Like, this is like maybe the outside material world sort of honoring us in some way, in a very sort of balanced sort of way, where as we begin to honor ourselves, right, and embrace ourselves on a deeper level, the outside universe also brings in that energy and starts to honor us. That may be through, obviously, birthday gifts because it's Pisces season, right? But this could also just be through, like, just validation, just people seeing us for who we are, because we're finally sort of showing ourselves and exploring ourselves and enjoying ourselves, allowing that energy to come in. We're appreciating it, therefore the outside world can also appreciate it, right? And so I feel like beautiful gifts, opportunities, things of a material nature might be bestowed upon us that bring about a sort of like a balance or a nice feeling to it, right? Like, I feel like she's arriving to the party and she's bringing us, it's almost like she's bringing a statue of her. So to me, expect that in the month of March. Expect the outside environment to kind of meet us in a way that is appreciative and loving and graceful. And then the next the next outside influence that we have is the Knave of Chalices. Chalices represents cups, and this is the first card that's in here that, to me, is our home element, right? The cups are the element of water. The Knave of Chalices is always about learning lessons, right? Knaves are always a little bit more youthful than knights. They're studying, they're learning, there's an enthusiasm, there's a youthfulness to them, right? This Knave of Chalices, to me, is about, like, sort of the opportunity. There might be some, like, hold on, let me just look at this for 1 minute. I think that's for me, so I'm going to not say that. There might be some opportunities for us to sort of explore things emotionally. There's opportunities for growth coming from outside around us. These opportunities for growth do feel peaceful, they feel pleasant. That's the Knave energy that I'm getting from this card. There feels like there's opportunities to learn here, right? Or there's also, I have to say this too as I'm looking at this, there's opportunities for us as the High Priestess to teach in our outside environment. I'm not saying there's this particular male. This could also represent as a particular male of the water sign variety for some of you, right? Like some of you that might be looking for love because you are feeling your oats, he may show up. There's also a particular message for me with this card, but I'm not going to share it because I think it's for me. But this High Priestess, to me, says not only will, like, the outside world sort of honor her or come and greet her and kind of honor her, because yes, it's our birthday time and that's very obvious, but this is also just in other ways, right? In a very balanced fashion. We might have this opportunity to also like grow or help others grow emotionally by being who we are, like teaching them, by embracing ourselves wholly and fully. We sort of teach others how to embrace their emotions in the outside world, right? And that's what this knave is here to learn. He's carrying this cup. He's all about, youthful enthusiasm and learning. This could be a romantic interest for some of you, but I feel like because it's a knave, it's not going to be long-standing romantic interest. I feel like, if anything, it would be passing fancy while we're feeling our oats and we're attracting that sort of energy to us. The other reason why I feel like he may not be long-standing is because he's sort of facing away, but I do feel like it's a beneficial connection. If some of you Pisces out there watching do have a connection with a younger guy, that might be what that represents. But I think that this card also just represents our opportunity. Like, to me, I see this funny cycle where she's coming into us, right? The environment is bringing us gifts of material sort of balance and honor, right? As we're honoring ourselves. And then we are bringing those gifts out and sharing them with the world and teaching the world how to feel through this Knave of Cups. Do you see that cycle? And then again, it doubles. This is so weird because I feel like this is the energy of the cards. We teach the knave, and the knave learns and grows, and then he cycles back, and the environment brings us another gift, and then we teach, we keep bringing. Do you see that circle that's going there? Or am I just kooky? Maybe I'm kooky, but I see a circle. That's what I'm being shown right now, is there's a circle between these three cards of like, as we're honored, we feel better. When we feel better, we are able to teach out into the world, and then they carry that out into the world, and then the world comes back and honors us for who we are and the sort of emotional being that we are. I hope this is not too far-flung and that you guys are getting me on this, my Pisces, because this is a really beautiful reading as far as what I'm seeing, feeling, and hearing. And I want you to understand that this just really feels like, even though we're in a retrograde, do not freak out. This is our time. This moon, this Mercury's in retrograde. It's retrograding in our sign. We're in our sign's birth time right now. This is our time to really embrace all of our quirkiness, communicate it. Even if it comes out sideways due to the retrograde, it's going to be appreciated and honored, and we are appreciating it and honoring it with this star card up in our soul space. Our soul wants us to see ourselves for the authentic, sort of quirky, beautiful people that we are. And we can with this beautiful mental foundation of this King of Swords. We're like prepared mentally to do this finally. All right, now this last card is the what I call the potential outcomes card. I always caveat this with nothing is ever set in stone, right? We have free will and free choice. This is the future card. This tells me how the March is going to end out for my Pisces, but it's not set in stone. We have free will and free choice. We can make choices and changes to affect outcomes, and if this is something negative, we can utilize it as a warning to make those choices and changes so that this does not come to pass. But if it's something that we do like and we do want to have happen, we can take heart in the fact that it's automatically on its way to us and just allow it to be. So let's see what that card is. Wow. So this is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a very abundant card. I think of nines as being abundant in whatever suit they're in. Pentacles is the suit of sort of material, earth energy and materialism, right? And we have this 8 that I told you the outside environment was going to be probably showing us ways of appreciation as we appreciate ourselves at deeper levels throughout the month of March. This Nine of Pentacles says that we're going to end out March feeling very fulfilled. Feeling like a lot of these gifts that have been bestowed upon us through this card of the 8s and the teachings that maybe we've done with this Knave of Cups and like taught people how to be their own knaves of their own emotions, that sort of a thing, is going to bring about this feeling of feeling very sort of abundant and secure. I'm going to just show this to you a little bit closer. Do you see how there's this woman holding that pentacle with the falcon on it, and then there's that Indian woman there? To me, I feel like there's a connection happening here. I feel like there's, honestly, I feel like that Indian woman is a guide for some of my Pisces. This could be a guardian angel. This could be a guide. This could be spirit behind her. But this is about us and the falcon with the blinders on. Do you guys see that? The falcon also representing spirit and not necessarily being able to always see what we know. But this high priestess, she's all about that energy, right? We've embraced her the whole month of March, and we've sort of relished in who she is and who we are, and we've learned to trust. And from that learning of trust, we get to this beautiful space of this Nine of Pentacles where we've made that trust and that sort of spiritual connection kind of connect at a material level in the material world. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? I don't have a chat box up, so I can't see what the reactions are, but I hope this makes sense. I really feel like this is a beautiful card to end out the month on, because I feel like this falcon to me speaks to spirit. I feel like the blinders that are kept on the falcon to me say that we are willing now to go on the journey wherever it takes us. We trust ourselves with this King of Swords and with this experience with the star here and the High Priestess. There's major change happening for us, and there's a trust within ourselves that's going to happen. There's a trust and a connection within our spirit and within our own guides that is going to sort of start to begin to manifest, like sort of onto the material plane for us, into our day-to-day life, where we get to live this life with this as a reality. I hope that makes sense. That is your March forecast. If it does not make sense, or you have any questions, please feel free to message me or leave me a comment on the video. Please do so. I know that this has been broadcast out to a bunch of different groups. Please do so at the business page, on the video at the business page, or at my YouTube channel, because I will look at those probably more quickly than I would look at the ones in the groups. They'll be harder to find. And if anybody has any questions, please, or comments, leave them. If you want a private personal reading, there would be much more description and stuff particular to your own situation in doing so. You can message me at my Instagram or at the business page to inquire about that. Beyond that, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Share this video out, guys. If you know Pisces that would enjoy it, please share it to them. There's something majorly beautiful and transformative happening in the month of March for us. We need to embrace it, quirks and all, and we will. This Nine of Pentacles says we're naturally heading in that direction. It has to do with the fact that I think that this retrograde is in Pisces during Pisces season. We're gonna see the things that maybe we've denied for a really long time. And in doing so, we're going to understand that they're actually gifts. That the quirkiness or the oddballness or whatever it is that makes us who we are, we're going to embrace it. And it's going to bring about a connection to not only spirit, but also an abundance in the material in this Nine of Pentacles. All right, that is your March forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate each and every watcher. Please feel free to share this wherever you would like. And oh, I didn't mention too, I also have a Patreon page. If you want to support me there, you can subscribe at Patreon. There's these readings are located over there, as well as other readings that aren't available. There's special readings for those that subscribe to the Patreon page. So that's also available too. The name is Engelgeist. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great March, and I look forward to seeing you guys next month. And I do have yearly predictives up on my YouTube page. If you go and look at YouTube, the signs for the year, the tarotscopes for the whole year of 2020 are up too. So they might be worth a look, because you can see if January and February were accurate for your sign. All right, love you guys, and I love my Pisces. Please have a wonderful March. Let me hear all about it. If some of these things do transpire for you, I would love to know how and and hear stories. I would love, love, love to know how this star card manifests in your life, guys. Where does the angel come in and find you throughout the month of March? All right. I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.